To give our customers a decent idea of what their floor will look like, we set up a unique grading system. Individual planks are thus sorted into different categories. There are no knots, sapwood, colorful boards, and other visible wood characteristics in grade A, B, or selected grade. The next grade may have more natural graining, more knots, and visible sapwood. We call it ABC or natural grade. Boards with more rustic grade possess a wine grain design, a large amount of knots, and may show sapwood. These planks derive mainly from plain saw boards. Through year-long experience and knowledge, all people enable to grade oak planks within seconds and provide top-quality wood lamella. After grading process, the lamella and plywood be loaded into drying kiln for moisture conditioning. The final moisture content is depending on the local moisture where our products will deliver to. It is the key processing during the engineered flooring production. The flat floor boards can only be guaranteed by this way. Before cold pressing, the glue is applied to the plywood and lamella is added. The cold press hardens the glue with process amount of high pressure, 12 kg per centimeter, to joint the plywood and lamellas board together. This piece of machinery maximizes quality and press efficiency, as it allows pressing together several layers in one time. Process, equipment, and parameter control of pressing are crucial in this production step, ensuring highly stable floorboards. After pressing, the boards are conditioned for 24 hours and then checked for defects, stains, and adhesion. A sample is taken and adhesion of all layers including the top layer and plywood is tested. Different test methods at different times are performed to avoid delamination. At all times, however, it's essential that the moisture level of the wood in storage is stabilized and doesn't increase. Our wood stock is stacked onto spacers to improve airflow and often protected against the elements by being wrapped in foil. As moisture level is capable of adversely influencing quality, it needs to be monitored constantly by our experts to safeguard the stability of our products. Remains of tree branches form the knots in a wood plank. These often fall out of the top layer or have cracks inside them. To avoid this and obtain a perfect surface, the gaps are filled with a knot filler. Depending on the looking required, the filling's color and the depth may vary. Final sanding of the surfaces allow the preset thickness of the board to be reached. Sanding both bottom and the top and calibrating the machine lead to an eventual top layer thickness within required tolerances. Plank surface is checked for defects to determine whether the planks are ready for next finishing. If necessary, the knot filling or sanding may be carried out again, or substandard planks are discarded. Any effect of color or structure is done now before finishing. While brushing the surface of the wood is performed to accentuate the graining and natural aspect of our wood flooring. This involves brushing the unfinished wood planks by means of metal wire brushes. This scrapes out the softer parts of the grain of the wood, whilst leaving the hardened parts untouched. The L-shaped machinery setup enables grinding of both long edge and short end profile in one continuous go. The tracking number be printed onto the back to optimize for traceability of the batch. During the coloring and finishing of each production batch, we compare the boards with these master panels in a specifically designed color matching area. If needed, the stains is adjusted to obtain a coherent result across different batches, and even across both production sites. The composed planks start on their finished step. 11 layers of lacquer or 2 layers of oil are applied to provide the wood flooring with adequate protection against scratches, stains, and dirt. These layers are applied in different stages. Every layer is dried in between application, either by air or UV light, depending on the product. The top layer is always UV cured. This hardening technique ensures instantaneous drying, absence of smell, and maximum protection. Applying several thin layers of coating is to be preferred to one thick layer. Comparing it to painting work, a primer with a top coat gives a better result than one thick paint layer. In their continuous run through the finishing line, all planks are checked for defaults, dust, and other abnormalities. Each finished plank receives a final check on several aspects. The gross level of the final lacquer or oil finished is measured. Varying from a very matte oil to a high gross lacquer finished, this value must be within preset limits. Adhesion and resistance of the final layer is tested in several ways as well. Adhesion is checked with a multi-blade cutter and standardized tape. A chessboard pattern is cut, piercing the varnish film. If the pattern transfers neatly onto the tape, adhesion is said to be perfect. A coin test checks resistance against scratches. Finally, every plank is checked for defects and, if necessary, rerun through the finishing line or discarded. Our laboratory also carries out random tests after protection. The table test assesses resistance of the finish and durability. Standardized equipment is used during and after protection to guarantee the quality of the end product. Several finalized flooring are stacked facing each other. The carton's packing with customer's brand logo and a label with detailed information of the product is printed at the two ends. The complete pallet is secured by being wrapped in foil. It ensures that moisture levels stay within limits during transport. The pallets are stacked into a container and delivered to a final destination.